Hello, dear students. I hope you all are fine and doing well. I welcome you all on behalf of Sri Jaindra classes rank zone. And in this, I will be dealing with the botany part. We have already started a class 12 chapter, that is the sexual reproduction in flowering plant. In lecture 1, we have discussed some of the interesting characteristic of flower, and we mainly talked about the structural parts and some of the internal arrangements parts and microsporogenesis, how the particularly pollen grains are produced, how microspore are produced within anther, that all things we have covered in the previous lecture. But dear students, this is lecture 2 and in this we will be going to talk about further. Now some things about the male reproductive organ was remaining, that is the some of the advantages, disadvantages of this pollen grain, then the pollen viability, such topics was remaining that we will discuss today first. Then we will talk about the female reproductive organ, that is pistil or carpel, and the formation of megaspore and embryos within that. And then we will deal with some of the questions. So students, from now, focus here in a proper way so you can particularly understand this in detail. Okay, so let's start. So dear students, first we are going to talk about some of the advantages of the pollen grain. You know that pollen grain are produced by the anther, and pollen grain when released from the anther, they are released in a two-cell stage or the three-cell stage. Okay. Majority they are released in the two-cell stage, having a one vegetative cell and one generative cell. But apart from this, they are rich in nutrients. They are nutritious. They are rich in nutrition. So, due to their richness of nutrition, sometimes they can be taken as a tablet. Okay, sometimes they can be taken as a tablet. Okay, and syrup to improve the particularly, we can say. Okay, sometimes they can be used as a particularly syrup, or we can say. Okay, so they can be taken as a tablet and syrup to improve the health. So you can see this diagrammatically how they are advantageous. Some of the pollen tablet and pollen syrup will be a part of pollen products. But it is not that they are always advantageous. There are some disadvantages of this pollen tablets or pollen syrups, because the pollen grain of many species, especially Anemophilus, if we talk specifically, then they cause some of the allergies. Okay, they cause some of the severe allergies and some of the bronchial applications to some of the people. So these, when anemophilus means what? Wind pollinated, whatever the pollen grain which are released from the wind pollinated plants, they cause some of the allergies because they are minute particle like. And the example of some of this is the weed Parthenium hysterophorus. This is also known as carrot grass, and they came to India as a contaminant with the improved wheat. And it came as a contaminant with the improved it, and it is known to cause one of the disorder, that is hay fever, a pollen allergy that is known as hay fever. Okay, so this is a Parthenium hysterophorus, that is a carrot grass. Now, this hay fever can be caused. Apart from this, you can see the misuse of this pollen consumption as well. It is claimed that some athletes and race horses use this particular or given a particular dose of this pollen to increase or to enhance their performance. So due to this, we can say this is the one of the misuse of this pollen grains. So they has to be banned so that for the athletes and thus for the rest also these are banned. Okay. Now, after the advantages and disadvantages, if we talk about the pollen grain viability, now you know that pollen grain are released from the anther, okay, and after that they remain viable for certain period of time, and that is viability. Okay, so it is defined as the period for which pollen grains retain the ability to germinate. Means they have a capability, they have a power of germinate after release from the particularly anther. Then that time period is known as pollen viability. And it is known that in some of the cereals like rice and wheat, and some of the another cereals you can see pollen viability is specifically minimum of up to, specifically we can say 30 minutes. Okay, while in case of Rosaceae family, Leguminosae family and Solanaceae family it is up to several months. Means from here it get cleared that pollen remain viable for the some minutes as well as up to the several months, but for whom they are in minutes and for whom they are for remain viable for months, that you have to remember, and this is the important direct question you get from this point. Okay, so you have to remember this. So this is the particularly some of the cereals you can see rice and wheat, and these are the, some of the particular examples of this. Apart from this, if you want to preserve this pollen grain, because if you see about the pollen grain, in pollen grain they have cells, means they have a genetic material, and that genetic material gives the germplasm all the genetic information of that particular plant. So scientists thought that how we can store, how we can preserve this pollen grain. And they came to an interesting concept that the cryopreservation can be done for this particular pollen grain. Now, what is cryopreservation? Cryopreservation is the thing in which these pollen grains are stored or conserved in a liquid nitrogen. In a liquid nitrogen. So we remember this is the important point. In which medium they are preserved. Sometimes we will get a question from this. In which medium they are preserved? So it is a liquid at what? Minus 196 degrees Celsius. And this stored cryopreserved pollen grain can be used or they are stored in a pollen banks. Now, dear students, this liquid nitrogen is harmful. Okay, it is so cool that if it can harm us also. So we have when we use a particular liquid nitrogen minus 196 degrees, we have to use a proper care and then we can use only. Okay, so this is the way you can see here in diagrammatic preservation. You can see the people are using safely this cryopreservation technique to preserve the pollen grains. Now we have completed till now the stamen structure, microsporangium means pollen sac and pollen grain in the previous lecture and up to in today's lecture until now. So we are going to deal with some of the questions regarding this. First question regarding this is chemical substance present in the exine of pollen grain. Dear students, we have already studied that particularly. We have already studied that the pollen grain has a two covering. Outer one is a exine, and this exine has a germ core. Germ core, and This is a exile. Now inner to exile you will find another layer that is known as intime. So the question is, the chemical substance which is present in this exile is sporopollenin. So if we go with the option is hemicellulose, so it is incorrect. And cellulose, no, cellulose is not that. Pectocellulosic, that is the intime. Intime is particular pectocellulose actually. Okay, and sporopollenin, yes, sporopollenin is found in this particular thing. So if we talk about sporopollenin, sporopollenin is a fatty substance, and this fatty substance is going to make the enzyme. But wherever the enzyme deposition is absent, it is known as jump road. So means sporopollenin is deposited discontinuously in the enzyme region. Okay, and it is known that sporopollen is the most resistant organic material. It cannot be broken down by at high temperature in the acidic condition, or even electric shock cannot break this particular sporopollen. Okay, so that becomes the correct answer. Next, we deal with another question. In the region of jump hole, the enzyme of pollen grain is, just we have discussed now, enzyme of pollen grain is made up of sporopollen, and here sporopollen is absent. So here the particular jump bone, the enzyme is thin, so they are acting as a core. Apart from this, next we are going to talk about diathecous anther, and when we talk about a diathecous anther, okay, we come to know that what do you mean by diathecous anther? So they are monosporangiate, they are bisporangiate, they are tetrasporangiate, they are devoid of sporangia, so they are tetrasporangiate. See how they are termed like this. If we see the particular structure or transverse section of this pollen sac, you will see that this anther, this is the structure of anther, and this is a one lobe, and this is the another lobe. This is the first lobe, and this is the another lobe, and in that these are the pollen sac. And this pollen sac are four in number. Okay, so because of this they are known as tetrasporangiate. But what do you mean by dithecous? Dithecous means di means two, theca means pollen grain, but this dithecous term is used with respect to one lobe. This term is used with respect to one lobe of anther, and this is used term with respect to whole anther. Okay, so if we talk about whole anther, there are four pollen sacs, so it is tetrasporangiate. Now, next question is pollen tube protrude out of. As we have studied, pollen tube can protrude out where the sporopollen absent. So answer becomes the jump pore. Okay, and we will study that in detail. Next question. In anther, we have studied microsporogenesis, and it is asking that in anther, microspore mother cells are formed by meiosis, by mitosis and meiosis, or either by mitosis or meiosis. But the answer is mitosis. Why? Because here this particular type of cells which are known as sporogenous cells, that sporogenous cell undergo mitosis, and through mitosis they produce this particularly microspore mother cell, which are also known as pollen mother cell. Okay, so mitosis is the correct one. Next question, the pollen tube is made up of. So we will discuss this about the pollen tube. Okay, detail, because pollen tube is nothing but an extension of intime. We will discuss that in detail in the polar crystal interaction in the later part. And so if it is made up of intine, pollen tube is elongation of intine, then it can be bacteriocellulosic. The pollen tube emerges out through jump or from. Okay, so we have just discussed that it is the intine of the particularly vegetative cell. We will discuss this in pollen vegetal interaction. Next question is decomposition of pollen grain is prevented by pectin, cellulose, sporopollenin, chitin. The most resistant material can prevent this only. So decomposition of pollen grain can be prevented by sporopollenin. So pollen grain, because of this, they are also used as a fossil. They can also be used as a fossil. Okay. Now next to that, next question, number of layer in anther wall is. Now I hope you know that the total number of layers in anther wall are 4, and you know that these are named like from outside to inside. That outermost is the epidermis. Then inner to that you will find endothecium. Then inner to that you find a middle layer, and middle layer inner to that you will find a tapetum, and tapetum is the innermost layer in the anther wall. So 4 layers are forming the anther wall. So let's come to the next question. Which layer in anther wall help in dehiscence? Okay, dehiscence is nothing but describing a particularly breakdown of anther wall and release of pollen grain. Okay, so if we talk about this, you can see these are the particular different option, and endothecium is become the correct answer, because if endothecium break, epidermis is there, and you know that I want to make some small diagram for this to understand you in detail. Suppose this is a particularly a structure of anther. Here it is epidermis, then you will find endothecium, then middle layer, and then tapetum. Now, in this region, this epidermis have some cells which are known as stomium cells. Which cells are that? Stomium cells are found in this region. These stomium cells are present in epidermis, they get broken down, and below that you will find endothecium. When this endothecium get released, then and then only this particularly pollen grain get released and dehiscence can occur. Next to that, the question is nutritive tissue in anther is. Dear student, you know that in anther, particularly pollen grain are developed in the pollen sac. Okay, and this pollen sac are covered by the tapetum, which is the innermost layer of anther wall. And this tapetum provides nourishment to the developing pollen grain. So the nutritive tissue of anther is nothing but a tapetum. Then the larger cell in pollen grain is, dear student, you know that in pollen grain two cells are found. Two cells are found. Dear students, two cells are found, that is vegetative cell and the generative cell. Okay. Now you know that if this is the pollen grain, it has a two cells, small is a generative cell and larger one is the vegetative cell. Okay, this is generative cell and this is vegetative cell. So larger becomes the vegetative cell. Okay, and it is known that the generative cell floats in the cytoplasm of the larger vegetative cell. Next question is, in 60% angiosperm, pollen grain is released at. Dear students, we have studied that pollen grain can be released in the two-celled stage or the four-celled stage. Yes or no? Either it can be released in the two-celled stage or the three-celled stage. Sorry. In two-celled stage, the pollen grain have one generative cell and one vegetative cell. But in three-celled stage, the pollen grain have two male gamete and one particularly vegetative cell. So male gamete is there and another one is the vegetative cell. So it is known as three cell nucleus. But in majority, they are released in this two-celled stage. So that becomes the correct answer. In 60% of angiosperm, the pollen grain are released at the two-celled stage. Then after releasing, they convert into the three-celled stage. Because after release, this generative cell will undergo mitosis and form a two male gamete. But when three-celled stage they release, the male gamete are formed within the anther itself, within the pollen grain itself. But in 60% of angiosperm, they are released at the two-celled stage. In remaining 40%, they are released in the three-celled stage. So answer becomes two-celled stage. Okay. Next question. In angiosperm, male gamete are produced from. Just in the previous question, we have discussed that generative cell undergo mitosis and form a male gamete. So, within a pollen grain, generative cell is going to form a two male gamete by mitosis. Then, next question is, dear students, it is possible to store pollen grain of a large number of species for years in. So you know that we can store pollen grain or preserve it by a cryopreservation. And cryopreservation is done in the liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees Celsius. So liquid nitrogen becomes the correct answer. Apart from that, at what temperature pollen grain are stored for a long time? So just we have discussed it is at minus 196 degrees Celsius. Now I hope you remember this. Now you have to remember it. Next question, pollen allergy is caused by, you know that pollen allergy are particularly caused by the different pollen grains of different plant. But one example we have discussed, that is Parthenium, and that Parthenium is commonly known as carrot grass, so that becomes the correct answer. And this carrot grass cause a pollen allergy, and you know that that pollen allergy is known as hay fever. Okay, so you should remember this. Next to that, next question is, in cereals like rice and wheat, pollen grain loss viability within. Okay, now we have discussed already what is pollen grain viability or pollen viability. It is the time period till which they remain the ability to germinate. And we have discussed that in rice and wheat in cereals, this is about a 30 minutes time they can remain viable. But along with, we have also discussed that some of the family like Rosacea, Leguminaceae, in that they can be viable up to several months. Okay. Next, a typical angiospermic anther is bilo and tetragonal, consists of 2 microsporangia, 3 microsporangia, 4 microsporangia, or 1 microsporangia. Dear student, microsporangia are nothing but a what? They are particularly a pollen sac. And as we have discussed in several diagrams, that in particularly transverse section of anther, you will find there is the presence of 4 pollen sacs. So 4 microsporangia are found within a bilobed tetragonal anther. Next question, what is the ploidy of the microspore tetra? Dear students, first we have to understand what is microspore tetra. Now in microsporogenesis, we have discussed that there is a one cell and we call that cell as a microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell. And when this pollen mother cell undergo meiosis, It produced a structure like this, and in this, four microspore are found, and it is known as pollen tetrad. So if it is producing after meiosis, then it should be haploid. So because of this, answer is haploid. Next question. Which of the following weed has become major cause of pollen allergy in India? Just we have discussed. This is the Parthenium, which came along with the imported wheat, which is also known as carrot grass. Next question, entire is bedbomb. We have discussed this question also many times. So it is pectocellulosic. So second, pectin and cellulose is the correct answer. Okay, students. So till now we have already discussed the particular part of, we can say, ether and viable thing, viability, and all the characteristic and so many questions we have discussed with this. Okay.